In this box, I have the latest thing from Fender in their Tone Master line. I guess you could say it's the next evolution from the Tone Master technology. This is the Tone Master Pro, and over my shoulder is the Tone Master FR12. What's going on? Well, I'm going to tell you all about it. We're going to do an unboxing, and you're going to come along with me for my first hands-on demo with this device. Stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you are new to our channel, where have you been? Make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, like our videos so that more people like you and you get to see them. And check out our podcast if you want to support the channel. It's called the Fretboard Confessional, along with our Spring store linked in the description below for custom swag. So this is a box. What's in the box? It is the Tone Master Pro. It's in here. Now, this is coming out on launch day. I'm filming this just a few days before. You might have already seen some things leaked about this, but nevertheless, we're going to dive in today and see kind of what all the hype is. Fender has hyped us up quite a bit with what this thing is potentially capable of, so I'm excited to get hands-on. So without further ado, let's see how they package this thing. Now, if they are smart, this is not the display box. I'm hoping to find something that as a retailer we can put in our stores that will be nice to look at. If I open this, Fender, look right now, if I open this cardboard box that says open this side here, and also tells me all of my responsibility in case it's damaged by FedEx or UPS, if I open this box and the pedal's looking at me, that's one demerit point. Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice actually. All right. Fender Tone Master Pro. Let's turn this thing around. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Is this? Yes. Good. Nice padding there for you for oops protection. Let's see how heavy it is. Not too bad. All right. There we go, the Fender Tone Master Pro. Classic Fender script, spaghetti logo. I like it. Is this it? It's just a black. This is kind of it. This is just a black box. Yeah, I like it. It's not, you know, they could have done like full color photography on the front of it, but this is kind of cool. It's a bit mysterious. So let's get into it, shall we? Taking some pages out of Apple's playbook. I think everybody is. If you notice I'm using a box cutter, I don't know where my knife is right now for those who've been watching the channel for any period of time. And so, you know, Benchmade or Gerber, if you want to, you know, support the channel, I will gladly take a knife. In fact, we can do a which knife does the best pedal unboxing video contest. You guys just step up to the plate and we will make it happen. All right, high quality plastic there for you. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Vacuum suction. And there it is. It's pretty. It's kind of got a gray sparkle to it. Nice tactile feel on the buttons. Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm not going to get into that yet, but on the previews from Fender, I saw a few things about this that I'm excited to check out. All right, let's get it out. It's not light, but it's not overly heavy. Let's take a look at the back. It's nice and got that nice texture. It feels really solid. Let's take a look at that I/O on the back. That is a lot of I/O. Mic and line in. That's interesting. Mic. What would you do? Why would you use a mic? Instrument. 4 different effects loops. So if you got your favorite pedals, that you can bring them along. We've got 1/4" output and XLR output. Output 2 left and right, aux in, phones. That's nice. That's the spouse or parent saver right there. 2 expression pedal inputs, a toe switch, amp control, MIDI, micro SD, and USB. It is updatable via USB for firmware, and I'm pretty sure you can record with it too. And that's cool. The classic kind of Fender gem there. Nice. I bet it's red. All right, and then of course, important stuff. Instructions. Yeah, we're not going to read those, you know, because I'm a man. Do need this though. You know, frankly, if it's not intuitive and you need the instructions, well, that's a problem in and of itself, right? If you're watching this and you're like, I already want that, well, guess what? This one is going to be unboxed and available as, like, I guess a demo or something. So, okay, they're providing a USB, and they're PC users. I say that just because, why isn't it just USB-C on both sides? If you have a modern laptop, you have to go get an adapter. But yeah, there you go. USB-C, USB-A. And then what looks like a really nice long power cable. It's probably at least 6 feet, if not longer. So very cool. All right. So here's the idea. We are going to plug this thing in and put it through its paces. So now that we've got it unboxed, through the magic of editing, we're going to do that. Look at that. Everything's plugged in. All right. So here's what we're going to do for the setup today. We've got the Tone Master Pro, and we haven't checked any of these levels. I've got a American Vintage 2 51 Telecaster plugged in, of course, 1/4" cable into the back of it. We've got the output, one output coming out of output 2 left from the Tone Master Pro, and that is being run to the FR12, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. And then we've also got XLR left and right that's going direct. So we've got the cabinet mic'd up, but we're also going to capture the direct tone of this, which it should sound fairly the same. Let's talk kind of about this real quick before I turn this on. So with this release, Fender is also releasing 2 different cabinets. It is the FR10 and the FR12. This is the FR12. It is a 1,000-watt D-class power amp with a 12-inch speaker and a 1-inch high-frequency driver. You've got 3-band EQ, volume, and cut on it. So it's fully powered. You could effectively think of this as like a really stripped-down acoustic guitar amp in a way. It's kind of like a small PA. It's a flat response. So you could plug a guitar, like an acoustic guitar, directly into this and have some basic EQ. But I mean, where's the fun in that? Go through this first. But that's kind of the idea here. It's a flat response because this is doing the modeling for you with impulse response and all the cab modeling, everything. So you want that to be full range, flat response. You don't want it to color the sound. And I think this pairing is pretty cool. Now you'll see similar things from like Neural and Fractal and Kemper, because that's where this thing plays. This is not a $500, multi-effects floor pedal. In fact, let's talk about pricing. This thing is $1699.99. That's for the Tone Master Pro unit on its own. The FR12 is $549.99. So if you're keeping track at home, it's $2249.98 to get both of these. Now, you might have noticed when we unboxed this, there was no carrying case or gig bag for the Tone Master Pro. According to the specs on Fender's dealer website that I have access to prior to launch, there is an optional gig bag, but it doesn't list a SKU, and there's no gig bag available. So I guess one is forthcoming. So let's power this thing on and let's get to it, shall we? See, there's the Jewel. And there, okay, the screen's on. Cool. Fender. The Tone Master Pro. It's just repeating itself at this point. Okay. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. It's still loading. There's a lot to load. It's still the Tone Master Pro. Okay. Oh, there we go. Firmware update available. So there are additional things on here, and I've already been told ahead of time that as of today, which is not launch day, for me, it is launch day for you, that URL on the screen is not live. Oh. Okay, we've already got volume. Cool. Let me turn that down. So I can't update the firmware. Before we dive into it, let's see if we're in tune. So tap 120, hold tuner. These buttons, I forget what they're called, but there's no click. It just depresses down and then comes back up. So, all right, let's see if this telly, it's not in tune. So, nice, easy to read tuner for the stage. And it's got mute. Why does it have mute? It's already muting. That's interesting. Why is it always the G string? Okay. Okay, we're almost there. Close enough for government work. All right, Access Tuner. Let's get into the fun stuff. So this first one, we're going to take a look at these presets that have already been loaded. So the first one is this 65 Deluxe Reverb with a space delay and something else in front of it. Let's see. So if I hit FS mode, this is going to change. Yeah, so this changes, and now it's put me into the patch in detail. Intensity, what is that? Huh, okay, so oh, okay. All right, you can see what this is. So check this out. I saw this on the video, and okay, this is totally cool. So we've clicked, this is a full 7-inch color touchscreen. If you touch an item, it zooms in, and then each of these foot switches actually becomes a tactile knob. Look at that. That's so cool. So if I want to adjust the volume, I can reach down. If I want to adjust treble, this is cool. So funny, 19 is actually 3. Go figure. What is 1? 1. That's cool. So you can see a visual representation, and you just have tactile feedback. So let me kind of give some background real quick. I used to play through a MacBook Pro live on stage using an Apogee Geo. Now, the Apogee Geo was basically a foot switch that was MIDI and was designed specifically to interface with MainStage, which is Apple's kind of live performance version of Logic. So you could get into any of the amp models. You can load additional plugins from anyone. You can map it to all of the pedals on there and have patches and all of that stuff. And I used that for years, and I got a lot of really, really great sounds out of that rig. The problem was, if you ever wanted to change the parameter, you had to interface with your trackpad on the MacBook Pro, which was not fun. You had to like highlight something like volume and move your finger up and down instead of being able to just bend down and tweak something. So that's very cool. Let's go back. And then the overdrive pedal. So here's one of the things we're going to see in this. There's some stuff Obviously, if it's Fender or someone Fender owns, it's officially licensed. But if it's not, then they've captured it with their Tone Master technology, but they can't call it what it is. So they call this Royal Tone. It's obviously King of Tone. And like has been done so many times before, they're aping the design, the artwork, in order to communicate to you what it is without saying what it is. So that's the world we live in. You know, thank lawyers. All right, so let's check this out. This is first just the deluxe reverb, so we can get a bass line. I'm going to zoom into it so I can make changes of what it sounds like. It says it's running through a 1x12 cabinet, which you would expect. So. I'm listening to the reverb. I'm going to turn it up because one of the things that's hard to capture, and it's cool when it's done correctly, is weirdness that happens with spring reverb when you really turn it up, like what's going on in a tank. Like that. The trail just really kind of goes very slowly away versus kind of getting cut off, which is what tends to happen a lot of times when it's digitally modeled, or you don't get the weirdness. So. That's cool. There's all the high-end reverberation that's going on in there. Now I'm noticing as I'm looking at this, so right now we're close up. If you push this, okay, you get a mixer view. So I can see headphone out. You can individually adjust, I suppose, your different outputs. So that's cool. And then there's gig view. And gig view is just going to give you like the big, bold, here's the preset that you're in. All right, so let's hear it with these other effects. So we'll turn on the space delay first. Turn that reverb back down. That's so cool. So I think that is like a different EQ setting. Cool. All right, so let's see what else we've got. Let's come out of the, oh, that's a list view, preset view. Nice. All right, let's go back. So these are our presets again. One of the things that was talked about was the first officially licensed EVH 5150 model. So Fender owning EVH or distributing EVH, I forget how exactly it's done, is able to actually have this license. So again, this whole thing is like some other companies might try to do this and model it their own way, but they can't officially call it that, which I'm sure we'll see with some other amps and effects that Fender doesn't have access to. And if we go into the mode, we've got delay, reverb, green box with a square button. I can't imagine what tube screamer that would be. They should have just called it like overdrive screamer. That would have been fun. And then there's your phaser and your flanger, of course, and a wah. I don't have an expression pedal connected to it, but It is grayed out unless you hit it. And then let's just turn, okay, the flanger is going to be a momentary one. But this is what you get with a Telecaster on bridge. Yeah, that works. Cool. Let's hear just the EVH actually by itself. That's cool. Let's see. Cutting edge. Oh, it's actually edge. Okay, yeah. So we've got another green box, and of course delays and reverbs and compression and harmonic trem and a shimmer and a UK 30. So it looks an awful lot like a Vox cabinet. So I bet, see if I remember this. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little too much. So there is your church preset, everybody. Actually, I wonder. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's see some others. So obviously there's some cool stuff running with the phaser. That's going to be your running with the devil preset, which I don't remember because I haven't run with him. All right, so there's all sorts of cool stuff, fiber brews. We're going to take a look at some of the amps out and get out of the presets. But this is a really nice visual of kind of how things are set up. So in this particular case, we've got a stereo setup on Clean Machine, and it is using this twin reverb half stack, and then another twin reverb as a cab for some reason. We've got your tremolo, chorus, memory delays. Obviously, it's a memory man, and a blues maker. I'm guessing, given the blue is probably just a blues driver. So you can get a really nice kind of clean sound with the chorus on there. And it's got coming soon. Well, I guess that's about the firmware update, right? All right, so let me just go on a limb here and say they're debuting this October 3rd. There's already a firmware update. This looks really, really cool, but something tells me they did rush this to try to get it out for Christmas a bit. All right, so let's just take a look at a few more of these and see what presets might have something. Okay, British Crunch. So there's your British amp. We already saw Vox. This is your Marshall. There's an Uber. Just staying for days. Thin Lizzy. Pumpkin Smash. That's a creative way of saying Smashing Pumpkins. Which Smashing Pumpkins, though? Let's see. That's Zero, I think. They should have just called it Zero Smashed Pumpkins. Okay, I'm a child of the 90s. There's Jimmy, right? He's got a Strat, but it's going through a Marshall. And so we've got two fuzzes, and one of them round fuzz. You can tell from the artwork, like that's your fuzz face, right? Just not in a face. So that's kind of how this stuff's set up. I bet there's a Univibe on here too, right? Yeah. Yeah. And this is how so many do it. So I think we're all familiar with that. So let's dig into some other things. One of the things that's interesting is how easy it is to do this. So like if I wanted this echo for some reason over here, I can just, I don't know why I would, but I can drag the space echo over there, or I can put it in between, two fuzzes, as long as I get it in the right spot, or I can just hit and I can choose. All right, so let's look at these. Let me put this down. So let's look at these options. So as of today, okay, there's some stuff grayed out. Interesting. So there's 65 deluxe reverbs, amp only, bass breakers, the little amp that could, your Blues Junior, Jazz Chorus, UK 30 Brilliant, UK 30 Normal, so one of those is like the matchless one. Viber King, why that's not with the rest of them is interesting. British 800, your British Plexi, Double Rec, so that's your Boogie rectifier right there. Your EVH, Friedman, and then Uber. And I'm sure we're going to see pretty much the same things, whether it's a wait, what's a... Oh, okay, I see. Let's see. Let's do something from. Let's go to a blank. All right. So we're going to add a block. There's your node. Here's your amps. These are all your combos. Pretty much the same things in half stacks. Your heads. Oh, look at that. There's an Acoustasonic. So one of the questions that I had very early on when this was launched was, what is going to be the offering with like acoustic guitar and bass guitar in mind? Because some of the other companies that make things like this, you can do everything, and you really kind of need to do everything. And I was told, like, right at launch, some of that stuff may not be in there, but it's all coming. Both acoustic stuff that Fender offers and their line of bass amplifiers. And I'm sure we'll have historic stuff like a Bassman in there, but also probably some of the more modern Rumble, like the Rumble 800, that's going to be in there. So there's your Acoustasonic. That's pretty cool. I've got a telly, so we're not going to do that. But we'll have to do a follow-up video because one of the things I like to do that would be cool to do with this is to run stereo with an acoustic guitar and have one side completely clean and have the other side have effects like delay and reverb and chorus and that kind of stuff for a really big sound. So that's pretty cool. I'm not going to confirm that Acoustasonic. So let's pick, we'll just do a deluxe reverb, confirm. Okay. Let's see what else there is. So we've got cabinets to choose from. So you could do a deluxe reverb into a Princeton, although why would you? Because the 12 is a much better speaker in my not so humble opinion. All right, so we've got effects. What was that said coming soon? Oh, interesting. So if you're watching this, when I hit IR, which is impulse response, it says coming soon. So that's one of the things that's going to be in the firmware update. The literature for this says that it has like 600 impulse response options that are already preloaded, and it supports third-party impulse response plugins. So if you have an impulse response from your favorite company like UA that you like to use, then this will accommodate it along with their pedals. You can plug it in through the back. So let's go back to the effects. So effects, we've got, of course, Stomp Box, I guess, is their overdrive, because that's the first thing is there's your blues, there's your green box. Yeah. Where was that King of Tone? What was it called? Royal Tone? I get it. King of Tone. Royal Tone. Pugilist, that's there. Rodent. I bet that's Rat. There's the King of Tone. Russian Fuzz. Okay, this is cool. Chorus. Here's your JC chorus, your flanger, 70s flanger, phasers, tremolo, harmonic, optical, or tube bias tremolo. Tube bias, thank you. There's your Univibe. Echo, your memory man delays, ping pong, space delays, tape echo. Your reverbs that you can patch in as pedals. I bet it actually mimics a tank. Let's see. Suit 263. I bet it's a tank reverb. Yeah, it's a tank reverb. That's cool. I'm just adding stuff to look at this point. Let's see. We were at reverbs, large hall, shimmer. Okay, church guys, shoegaze guys, compressors, EQs, and then your filter pitch. So you've got your volume pedals, vocal wall, gates, and so forth. So it's got a lot of offerings right off the bat. FX loops. So you can do a bunch of different effects loops where you're basically taking from here and plugging. That's why it's got 4. So if you plug in a pedal into the back of this, like you happen to just love the delay or the reverbs you get from like your Big Sky or Timeline or something, then you can plug it into your effects loop. You can grab one of these and say, okay, in effects loop, I have my pedal, and I'm going to plug it in, here or wherever you need to plug it in according to your makeup of all of your effects that you're doing. So that's basically how you would assign that and then turn it on, and then a foot switch assigned. So you can see as I've been adding these, all of the foot switches are still saying that they are empty. So if I wanted to assign this reverb to a foot switch, I would go to a foot switch assign, and do I do that? No, I touch here. Amp control, parameter change, on off. I'll do on off. Oh, maybe it's parameter change. What is it? See, this is what you get for not reading the the instructions. I don't know. How do you do that? Oh, I lost everything that I had. Okay, I probably have to save first. That's fair. So you save your stuff, you go to assignment, and then you pick your foot switch. Cool. So we've seen gig view, right? Empty. Don't judge me, pedal. So there's your gig view on which preset you're on. Oh, something I read. Okay, we got to check this out because I read in the literature that this has enough memory that it has trails. It doesn't cut off. So if you've ever used something like this, usually when you're switching banks, there's a cutoff. There's a pop, there's a change in gain, or there's just a gap. And that. Oh, that's cool. So it probably wouldn't happen very often, but say you needed to start a song with one sound, like a set or something, and then you immediately are switching, you could do something like this big ambient tone. And then cue up your next thing. That's cool. That's very cool. All right, what did we not go through? So we looked at your mixer control. You've got your tuner. There's EQ that's built into this. So if you needed to, you could go through and you could EQ the sound that you're getting. And of course, if you're using this cab, you can EQ that as well. You have access to all of your I/O right there. So you've got your mic input gain, phantom power. So you could plug a mic into this. That's something I've got to dig into for our follow-up video is how can you use, there's a mic input that's separate. So can you run that out as its own separate deal? You've got USB input too, and there's Bluetooth, so you can, play along with stuff. And then you've got your overall preferences that you are able to adjust. All in all, it's a really full-featured, powerful, albeit fairly expensive, but not for the segment, powerful amp and effects modeler. So it's very cool. I want one. I kind of knew I probably wanted one when I first saw that they were being released and everything that was going on with it, but this is a very, very cool device. So, high-level overview, tons of built-in presets, lots of amps and more coming. You can use this with electric, acoustic, and bass guitar. If you buy it right now and they don't have bass, one of the things that I think I saw, if we go into the add a block, just to look at this, amp heads, there's the Acoustasonic. Yeah, there's a studio and a tube preamp. So before anything else, those would be utilized for acoustic and for bass. So that's pretty cool. So this has a lot of functionality. And one of the things that I see this happening with the flat response is, if you're like me, or so many people that gig now, you might only need to take this and an expression pedal, and if you have any other pedals that you want to run through the effects loops to a gig, and you don't necessarily need to take the cab to every gig because you're going to just go directly into the PA. So if you do that, then you just take this. That's all you need to take. And at home, if you don't want to run headphones when you're practicing, you've got a 1,000-watt cabinet that you can plug into. But for those gigs where they don't have a PA necessarily that you're going to be able to plug into, then you've got the cab. So, it's not like an inexpensive proposition, but $2,250 to have all of this is less than what most American-made high-end tube amps will cost you, or a little less than what a lot of US-made high-end tube amps will cost you before you add in any effects or anything. So there is a strong value proposition here if you look at it from that perspective. And I think the models are pretty solid. I've been impressed with their Tone Master line. It's on the pedal, Chris. I think that's pretty solid. If they're using all of that, which it sounds like for every other model, the technology's caught up, and this stuff's pretty rock solid. And I love being able to just do that. It's so cool. So there you have it. It's the Fender Tone Master Pro. It's the new FR12. The FR10 is also an option. Why would you get the 10-inch speaker version? I don't know. Just get the 12-inch speaker version. Gig bag is presumably coming. Impulse response and more models and amps will be coming. You can update this via USB on firmware, and then there's an app for Tone Master stuff that you can utilize as well. It's available as of today, October 3rd. It's in stores, so you can order it from our website at alamomusic.com. We have both the Tone Master Pro and the FR12 in stock. Well, we have some in stock right now. I have a feeling these might initially sell out, and we'll have to wait for our next arrival or shipment for the holiday season. So get in now, and even if you're playing at home and you want just a lot of flexibility and you're playing a lot of different stuff, it's got a looper built in too. Did I mention that? 60-second looper, and you can record with it. This is really cool. So let me know what you think in the comments so that we can determine which of you are the Luddites and which ones of you embrace new technology. No, seriously, let us know what you think about these in the comments. And if you want one, go to our website. And also, I'd like to know, do you like this kind of setup for this type of review if we're doing technology or anything with pedals, let us know. Then we can do some more like that. Until next time, my name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music. It's alamomusic.com, and this is my new toy. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.